Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Pakistan. They either rush into registration without understanding the legal structure, or they follow outdated advice that no longer works in 2026. And that's where the problems begin. Delays, rejected applications, unnecessary taxes, and sometimes even full business shutdowns. Here's the truth no one tells you. Starting a company in Pakistan is not difficult, but it is procedural. If you follow the correct sequence step by step, you can legally register a business in just a few days. But if you miss even one small detail, the entire process can slow down for weeks. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Pakistan from scratch. We will go step by step through legal structures, registration with SEP, NTN, tax registration, bank account setup, and real-world requirements most guides forget to mention. By the end, you will know exactly how to launch your company in 2026 without confusion, without legal mistakes, and without wasting money. And stay with me, because in a minute I'll show you the exact structure most successful startups in Pakistan choose first. And why choosing the wrong one is the biggest beginner mistake. Now, let's get into it immediately. To start a company in Pakistan, everything revolves around one main authority. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, also known as SEP. This is the official government body that registers companies and gives them legal identity. But before you even touch the SEP website, you need to understand the first decision. And this is where most people fail. You must choose your business structure. There are three main options you will see again and again. The first is a sole proprietorship. This is the simplest form. One person owns everything. It is easy to start, easy to manage. But it has a big limitation. There is no legal separation between you and your business. If your business faces debt, you are personally responsible. For example, imagine a person named Ali in Lahore who starts an online clothing store as a sole proprietor. If the business gets into debt, creditors can legally go after Ali's personal savings or assets. That's the risk. Now here's where it gets interesting. The second option is a partnership. This is where two or more people own the business together. Profits are shared, responsibilities are shared, but so is liability. If your partner makes a mistake, you may also be responsible legally. Now, most beginners think partnership is a good idea because it feels flexible. But in reality, without a strong legal agreement, it can become complicated very fast. And then, we come to the third option, and this is the one most professionals choose. Private limited company. This is the structure registered with SEP. It creates a separate legal identity. That means the company is treated as its own entity, not you personally. So if someone named Sarah in Karachi starts a private limited company for software development, the company itself owns the contracts, bank account, and liabilities. Not Sarah personally. This is why most serious businesses in Pakistan eventually move to this structure. Now here's the problem. Many beginners skip understanding this and directly jump into registration. That's why they face rejection or regret later. So step 1 is clear. Decide your structure. And for most viewers of this video, a private limited company is the safest long-term option. Now let's move to the actual registration process. But before that, let me tell you something important. In a minute, I'll show you the exact documents you need so you don't get stuck midway. Because missing even one document can delay your application. Now the second step is name reservation. You cannot register a company without a unique name. This is done through the SEP online portal. You go to the SEP services system and submit a company name application. The system checks if your name is already taken or too similar to another company. For example, if you try to register ABC Tech Solutions, and that name already exists, or is too close to another company, it will be rejected. So you should prepare at least 3 name options before starting. A smart approach is to choose names that are unique, but still relevant. For example, instead of generic names like Global Traders, you could choose something more specific like NextWave Digital Solutions, or Karachi Cloud Systems. Once your name is approved, it is reserved for a limited period, usually 60 days. Now, here's where it gets interesting. During this time, you must complete incorporation, otherwise your name reservation expires, and you have to apply again. So timing matters. Now we move to the third step, and this is the core of the entire process. Company incorporation with SEP.ai. This is done online through the SEP e-Services portal. You will need to create an account first. Once inside, you will fill out incorporation forms that include company details, business activity, director's information, registered office address, and share structure. Let's break this down simply. You need at least one director. This is the person responsible for managing the company legally. In many cases, it is the founder. You also need a registered office address. This can be your home address or a commercial office. SEP requires proof of address, such as a utility bill or rent agreement. Then you define your business activity. For example, software development, trading, consulting, or manufacturing. Now here's a mistake many people make. They select too many business activities thinking it gives flexibility. But in reality, it can create confusion in taxation later. It is better to be specific. After filling forms, you upload required documents. These include key copies of directors, company memorandum, and articles of association, and address proof. Now let's pause here because this is important. This stage is where most applications get delayed. Not because the system is hard, but because people upload incorrect documents or mismatch information. For example, if your CNIC address does not match your utility bill address, SEP may ask for clarification. That adds time. So accuracy matters more than speed. Once submitted, SEP reviews your application. If everything is correct, you receive a certificate of incorporation. This is your official proof that your company legally exists in Pakistan. Now you might think the process is complete here. But actually, there are still a few critical steps left that most beginners forget. And this is where things get interesting. The next step is NTN registration. NTN stands for National Tax Number. This is issued by the Federal Board of Revenue, also known as FBRME. Without NTN, your company cannot legally file taxes or open certain business bank accounts. The process is done online through the FBR IRIS system. You will need your incorporation certificate, company details, and director information. Once registered, your company becomes part of the tax system. Now, let's take an example. Imagine a business owner named Ahmed in Islamabad who successfully registers his company but skips NTN registration. Later, when he tries to work with international clients, he cannot issue proper tax invoices. His business becomes limited. So this step is not optional. It is essential. Now after NTN, the next step is opening a corporate bank account. This is done with any major bank in Pakistan, such as HBL, UBL, Mizan Bank, or Standard Chartered. You will submit your incorporation certificate, NTN certificate, and company documents. The bank will verify everything, and then open a business account in your company name. Now here's the problem most people don't expect. Banks sometimes take longer than SEP for approval, especially if your documents are incomplete or inconsistent. So always double-check everything before submission. Now, let's move to another important area. Sales tax registration. If your business involves selling goods or taxable services, you may need to register for sales tax with FBR. This allows you to legally charge tax on invoices and remain compliant. Not every business needs this immediately, but it becomes important as you grow. Now let's talk about ongoing compliance. Because starting a company is not just about registration. It is about maintaining legal status. Every year, you must file annual returns with SEP. You also need to file tax returns with FBR. Many small businesses fail here. Not because they are not profitable, but because they ignore compliance. And now here's where it gets interesting. In Pakistan, a company that is fully compliant is far more trusted by banks, investors, and international clients compared to informal businesses. That means legal structure directly affects growth opportunities. So treating your company like a real entity from day one is extremely important. Let's quickly go over a real-world example. A young entrepreneur named Bilal, in Lahore, starts a digital marketing agency. He follows all steps correctly. He registers with SEP, gets NTN, opens a bank account, and stays compliant. Within a year, He is able to work with foreign clients because he can issue legal invoices and receive payments properly. Now, compare that to someone who operates informally. They may earn money, but they face limitations in scaling. The difference is structure. Now let's bring everything together in a simple flow. First, choose your business structure. Preferably private limited company for long-term growth. Second, reserve your company name through SecMate. Third, submit incorporation documents and get your certificate. Fourth, register for NTN with FBRU. Fifth, open a corporate bank account. Sixth, complete tax registration if required. And finally, maintain annual compliance. If you follow this exact sequence, you can legally start a company in Pakistan in a smooth and structured way. No confusion. No shortcuts. No legal issues later. Now, before we finish, let's talk about the biggest mistakes people make. The first mistake is rushing registration without planning structure. The second mistake is choosing weak or generic company names that get rejected. The third mistake is submitting incorrect documents. And the fourth mistake is ignoring tax registration until it becomes a problem. Avoid these, and your entire process becomes much easier. So here's your final takeaway. Starting a company in Pakistan in 2026 is completely achievable for anyone. You do not need special connections or complicated setups. You only need to follow the legal process step by step, stay accurate with documentation, and understand your structure from the beginning. If you do that, you are already ahead of most beginners. If this guide helped you understand the full process clearly, make sure you like this video, drop a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more step-by-step business guides like this. Because the more you understand these systems, the easier it becomes to build a real business anywhere in the world.